How's it, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome back to Geeking Out, where we basically discuss everything nerd and geek related. I'm here with Adam Bombardi and another episode of Knowing That Content Creator. How we doing?
Doing good, doing good. Happy Tuesday.
Thank you, thank you.
Maybe?
I so so for those who don't know, Adam is a VR YouTuber, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube, TikTok, all that good stuff, but all around VR pretty much.
And you are allowed to cuss on here, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
No,
You already know
this
me
isn't
so well.
this isn't cosplay con talk where I only allow one F word.
There's a limit.
Yeah, geeking out on the gaming ones, there's no limit. So to begin, I gotta first ask, what made you come up with the name Adam Bombardi?
Ooh, that's a good one. I played a lot of Fallout, and initially I heard that song Atom Bomb Baby that plays in Fallout at like Atom Bomb Baby.
I don't remember that one. And again,
It goes on the radio. But anyway, I liked the song, but I didn't want baby in the name. I was like, it's kind of weird. And at the time, I was competing in bodybuilding, bikini division, like the least muscular. So I was like, I swapped it out for body. And there we go. It just
and
is kind of stuck.
I mean, it seems to work. Plus, you've actually, from what I've seen, when you've done your cosplay, you've actually cosplayed from Fallout.
Yes, yes. So that's kind of my. I don't know. It's not necessarily where I started in gaming, but I love everything about Fallout as far as the background, the history, the aesthetics.
I
Even
mean,
though it's it's post-apocalyptic, but it's like retro apocalyptic, futuristic.
from your content I've seen on YouTube when you're gaming, you always have like 1950s, 60s aesthetic when you wear your outfits to go with your gaming.
Yeah, that was actually something that came in later, and I don't know why I hadn't thought of that. Didn't think of that before, but yeah, I kind of stick with those more retro aesthetics, and I feel like it maybe helps me stand out more. I don't know. It matches
Uh,
the name at least for people who love Fallout, I guess.
so how long have you been be a VR content creator for?
VR specifically, maybe 4 years or so. But before then, I had just been, I don't know if I would consider myself content creator, but not too serious because I didn't know what I was doing really. I was doing a lot of, I started in Twitch streaming and just desktop stuff and just sort of not having an idea on what I wanted to do. I just played whatever, whenever. Then I started to kind of look up more like educators. I watched more YouTube videos to kind of make a brand, figure out marketing and all that stuff. And eventually on my streams, I had played, or I wanted to play Half-Life Alyx, which was because I loved the Half-Life games and I had a
Good
headset.
game.
Yes, and I had a headset, but had been in the box for a while, so I wanted to figure out like, okay, I really want to play this because I loved Half-Life, but like how the heck am I gonna like stream VR? And at the time there weren't a lot of tutorials out there, and there were some, but they were a little outdated, so I kind of had to like watch a bunch and then compile them and figure something out. And then that's kind of how I figured out a direction for my YouTube channel. I was like, well, if I was struggling to figure out this stuff, then maybe other people are. And then I just sort of went all hardcore VR after that in everything that I did. I never looked back.
I mean, from what I've seen, the whole VTuber and VR thing has become really popular in the past few years. You see a lot of content creators doing that now, and there's nothing wrong with that. It seems to have like gained a huge following in the past few years.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like VTubing, I've like dabbled around just with the technology and stuff. Like I've got trackers and things. So when I go in like VR chat, I can be one of those fancy people who can kick things or whatever. But yeah, it's interesting. It's not I imagine like if I had another life, it would be fun to see how far you could go as a VTuber. Like I don't think I could do it now. Like it'd be too much, but just for fun, like in another life, it'd be interesting to try to be a VTuber, I think.
So would you so are you a full-time content creator, part-time content creator?
It's a funny story. Originally, I was full, and then through my dabbling in VR, I met the company Live, which they do mixed reality work. They have a soft. That's basically tools for VR content creators. So mixed reality, you can use a green screen to put yourself in a VR game, or you can also you can bring your Twitch chat while you're in VR to be able to read it easier that way. They have VTuber tools, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I started making tutorials about their stuff and using their software a lot. And eventually they were looking for a community manager job. And so lo and behold, my content creation work got me hired in a career path that I loved. So that ended up working out.
Would this be
yes.
them?
Yes, that's them.
Nice. And
so if you've seen people doing Beat Saber stuff while they're in Beat Saber, they're usually using Live, our software.
I have seen some of your TikToks where you're doing that. What was the one you were doing? I think where you had the baseball bats for hands.
Oh, what the bat?
What the bat?
Yeah.
I'm a baby. Okay, put the square in the square. Baby bat hands. Here we go. Yay! We put the fish in the fish. I'm learning shapes. Yay! Am I supposed to eat this? Oh. Okay, so I need to squirt this in my mouth? Oh, I need to get the trophy.
Yeah, it's a fun one. But it's cool. Yeah, then eventually I got up to product managing, but now I'm more of like product marketing because it's a startup. So like I kind of go in whatever role they need me at the time. So long story short, I do have like a normal stable job where I have like regular income in, which is nice, but it's in a field that I'm passionate about. And then I still try to do, I've kind of leaned more towards TikTok lately over YouTube just because it's shorter content so I can record and edit and get it just out there faster.
Plus, YouTube now has a YouTube Shorts as well that you can do.
Yeah, so I'll just like I'll just cross post it from TikTok to YouTube Shorts.
That works. I've noticed YouTube Shorts have become like a major thing lately because not everyone wants to post a full on video because not everyone has time to watch a full on video.
Yeah, or even make one on the creator side. That's why I've been liking it. Because I'm like, it's so much shorter. I mean, I still want to do tutorials, of course. I don't think I'm ever going to stop, but there's only so many tutorials I can make, until something breaks or something gets updated and I'll have to make a newer version of whatever. But and I like showing the educated side of me, but then also the slightly chaotic
foul mouth
how you want to describe that.
The foul mouth side of you.
It's almost like I'm bipolar. I have this weird kind of dual personality, dual type of content, but it's all in the VR bubble,
As I always say, there's nothing wrong with that. Do you remember what your very first VR experience was like as a content creator?
Ooh. Well, again, I think that would be Half-Life Alyx officially. And I remember, man, there was so much research that I had to try to do before because I was like, how do I read chat while you have the headset on? Like, do you just have a phone underneath and you look under the headset? And I was like, I don't want to do that. And that's how I discovered Live. It's like, how do I want to show this? How do I put what I'm seeing in VR on the screen? And then, or do I put myself in it? So I think I did a green screen version of me in the corner or something, but there was a lot that I had to think about. And then even getting a green screen that wasn't just like, the kind that you stick in the back. I mean, you can see, obviously I went hardcore eventually and I was like,
basically just paint your whole wall fucking green. It works.
Yeah. Even I have the green puzzle piece floor mats too. So if I do a full body anything, we're good. But yeah, it didn't start off that way. I wouldn't recommend this to someone who wants to dabble in it. I would start off small, maybe with the backdrop stand.
Like the green round mat thing that people put behind their chair.
You probably would need more space for that if you're doing VR, because you think about doing a lot of swinging and stuff. So unless you don't mind your arms being cropped off. Like what I did was I just got a really cheap backdrop stand on Amazon, and then like a long enough green fabric that I could stand on, and that was pretty much it. And I got like Home Depot clamp lights, and then just stuck those on wherever poles I could find.
It works. I mean, especially if you're a content creator on a budget, you gotta do what you can with what you're given. And you've been doing it for so long. You've been doing it for so long. You said, the hell with it. I'm just gonna paint my whole fucking wall green.
Yeah, and I did the clamp light method for at least like maybe a year and a half or 2 years. Like it worked really well. You just have to be patient with the lack of technology that you might have, or the lack of hardware rather. But yeah, eventually as I realized like, okay, I seem to be still sticking with this thing, I might as well upgrade it, upgrade things to make it easier on me. But yeah.
Has VR gaming ever made you like sick or woozy? Because I've seen other content creators where like they can only do it for so long before they just start feeling motion sickness and everything.
Oh. Luckily, I've been okay. There's only been a couple instances where I did feel sick, and that was when I tried to play Subnautica in VR. But this was
Oh,
like back when it was in the earlier stages. So it didn't have motion controller support. So you had to sit down in your chair and use your keyboard and mouse. But yeah, all the diving and stuff, it was bad. I didn't like that. And then I think the other one was Skyrim VR, but it was only one time. And I think maybe because I didn't eat enough or I didn't drink enough, but I would also like, it's an okay port to VR, but it's not amazing. So some of the, motion controls are a little more limited than they would be for like a 4 VR game. But luckily only those 2 times. Otherwise, I've done a lot of dumb stuff in VR that like I'm surprised I haven't gotten sick with. A couple times where I've almost fallen over.
I
But not
imagine. I imagine you have. What game made you almost fall over when playing VR?
there's a sort of another social VR game that it's like VR chat, but it's called Neos VR.
I have heard of heard of that.
You can do some crazy shit in that game. Like people can put you inside a Pokeball. So if you think you're just like you're in a shaky Pokeball that someone's just like wigging around, or you can be like a golf ball and people can swing the club at you. So it's just like there's no motion sickness filters. You're just it's just chaos. So I have to sit down when I do those. Otherwise, if I'm standing, I feel very like unstable. So I'm like, if you're gonna put
Jet
me in a
lag and all that
Pokeball,
stuff.
I need to sit down. I need to sit down for this.
So you said you did some VTubing. I think I actually saw you have a while back. You had your own little VR VTuber avatar. What was that? What was that like when you had a VTuber thing going on?
I have like a couple of different avatars. Most of them are made from the easier VTubing softwares. Like either you put in a photo of yourself and then it'll spit out an avatar that looks kind of like you, or there's another one where you can kind of customize it a little bit more. But it's interesting. I kind of like it in a way because then it's like, oh cool, I don't have to worry about makeup or wearing pants or like whatever, because it's just the VTuber. It doesn't matter. But then like getting all the trackers on and making sure that things are calibrated well, that can be a pain. But I don't know. I think it's fun. But I don't think I could do like a whole new channel now unless I did some kind of voice changer, because people would probably be like, is that Adam's voice? Like I don't know if I could hold a different voice for a whole, I don't know, like a whole channel. That seems like it could be exhausting. But messing around with the VTubing tools is fun though. It's an interesting thing that's been growing, I suppose.
Nice. So I gotta ask, what made you, when you do like your VTuber stuff, especially when you're being shown, what made you want to wear the whole 1950s, 60s housewife dresses, as I call them?
Oh, so like yeah. I think that also got inspired by Fallout. Like for a while I needed some kind of way to stand out, I felt like, because apparently the red hair is not enough. But I've always really liked the pinup-y look. And so I had a couple dresses and I was like, you know what? I think I could make like a whole sort of brand and colors and like banners and stuff out of this. So I don't know what exactly inspired it other than I had a couple dresses and I was like, hey, I love Fallout and this would actually kind of make sense. And most of the like, I love the other VR content creators out there, but a lot of them use the same kind of like synthwave, like futuristic cyberpunk kind of aesthetics to their channels. And so I wanted something that was different, like maybe a little bit more vintage or retro-y.
Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot. I think as far as I know, you're like the only one I know who likes doing the whole retro aesthetic for their content.
Yes, good.
Speaking of VR, what brand of VR headset do you use? Because I know there's the Oculus Rift and there's a whole bunch that's been out since like the past few years. What brand do you use?
For creating content, and like my preferred one is the Valve Index. That's the like PC VR headset. And then just for like if I'm lounging around on the couch or for travel, I have the Quest 2. And The only reason, like, so I would say the Quest 2 is more of like daily driver because I have like different workout games and it's just wireless, so it's a little easier. But the Quest's recording options are not great, and there isn't currently a way to be able to like see your chat. They don't work well with third-party overlays because it's such a Meta is such a controlled system versus something like PC VR, which I would compare more to like Android. It's like a sandbox. You can have whatever kind of apps you want in there. So it makes recording and streaming a lot more easier, and you can get a lot of higher quality stuff because it's so open sourced a little bit more, if that makes sense.
It does. So I guess I should ask for a first time for those who are wanting to do VR for their content, and especially if they're on a budget, what brand of VR headset would you recommend for first time VR content creators?
Oof, that's a hard one. Specifically, if you want to do content creation, like if you just wanted a VR headset, I would say the Quest is absolutely fine because you can still play Steam games with it. But I think I would recommend a PC VR headset. The cheapest would probably be something like an HP Reverb, although I think the default controllers with that aren't the greatest, but you can still connect to Steam with it, so whatever. But I still love the Valve Index, but I wouldn't say it's cheap. Like there's not really a very cheap PC VR headset, because even like the Valve Index for getting all the base stations, the controllers, the headset, it's like $1,000.
Oh, and I'm looking at Joey. Yeah.
But I mean, once you have base stations, if you get another headset, you don't need to buy the base stations again.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, like on Amazon, it's like almost like 1,700.
Well, with Amazon also, I would probably just get it directly through Steam.
That's and this is like the full Valve Index VR full kit.
And you know what's crazy? If you did want to be a VTuber and have all of those like full body trackers on you, each one tracker, the little hockey puck looking thing, is $100. So I have
just for one.
Just for one. So like usually they recommend getting 3 because you want one for the waist, right? One for each foot. I mean, some people go crazy and they
do like
one
the
on,
whole
like, the elbows,
the wrist.
yeah.
Basically, it's like you're wearing a mocap suit at this point.
Yeah, but I'm like, if you were just starting out as a VTuber, like 3 is fine. Like one for waist, one for each foot. But yeah, that's $300 right there. It's not a cheap hobby. That's for sure.
Oh no, and I've seen people with like the belts too, because I see like in some VR games, like you'll see that weird, like in Phasmophobia, they'll have that weird belt thing around them in game.
I will say, I think at least it's Phasmophobia, you can kind of cheat a little because you can hold more stuff than you can in VR than on desktop, because you could just hold one item in each hand if you really wanted to. I mean, you couldn't open doors if the friends do it, but then you have one item in each hand and then 2 items in their waist. So technically you can hold more, like, because I think desktop you can only hold like 2, right?
I don't know. I've never played Phasmophobia. I'm more, and people don't hate me on this, I'm more of a console player than PC player.
Shame. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. No, does it flip to PSVR too? I mean,
I have. Have you actually played VR on console, like with the PlayStation VR headset?
Actually, I haven't. I never tried the first one because I had a feeling there was going to be another one eventually, and then there was. So I never had the chance to play the first one.
With the PS5, I was told that you can. I don't know if it's true or not, but I was told if you have the PlayStation VR headset from the PS4, it's compatible with the PS5. I don't know how true that is.
I don't remember. I think it's I don't know if it's backwards compatible or not, but I know you can, like, pre-orders are open and they have the New Horizon game bundle that you can get with it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for.
So I have seen the Horizon VR game. That looks like it's gonna be fun. I imagine you're probably gonna have like a gameplay tutorial for that thing when it comes out.
I can't wait. It'll be interesting though, because I don't know how recording will work from the PlayStation and this. I don't know. Now my brain's all thinking of we're gonna need like a capture. I may have to bring out the capture card. I haven't used that in a while. Like, how is that gonna work? I don't know. We'll see. I'll make it work somehow.
So I also noticed you play with friends from time to time on VR and VR. What's that been like, playing with friends in VR? Has there ever been like any funny mishaps or anything going on with that?
The crazy part about any kind of multiplayer in VR is that even if you're with someone on the total opposite coast or other side of the world, like you feel like they're right there, which is crazy. So it doesn't feel like you're miles and miles away. And I don't know, it sounds kind of weirdly matrixy or dystopian, but like once you have the headset on, you're just kind of in a totally different environment. So like sometimes I'll take my headset off and I'm like, oh crap, it's like 7 and it's dark and I'm just standing in here in a dark room because no lights are on. But yeah, playing with friends online is great, and there's like so many different options too. Like there's super casual but fun games, kind of like mini golf. Walkabout Mini Golf's one of my favorite ones. There's board games that almost are Harry Potter like there's Demio, because like the figures move and they actually cast spells and stuff. Like so there's like something for everybody. Or zombie shooters, that's popular in any genre or any desktop or VR or whatever. But there's just there's a wide variety of now, especially in multiplayer games. It's great.
Oh, nice. What's been your favorite multiplayer VR game to play? As just whether you're doing it for yourself or doing it for content.
Ooh, I would say Demio, which is the board game one I mentioned. Like it's funny because I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. Don't judge me too harshly.
We're no judgment here.
It's really fun. There's different campaigns and different classes that you can choose from. So it's 4 players max. You can actually play with people that are on desktop. So not everybody has to be in VR. You can be a mix if you want. And it's fun because it takes like fantasy board game, like I don't know, it's crazy. It's each campaign is super unique, has different enemies. You basically have a big boss at the end. You have to fight, go through the board, and you have different cards and those are your abilities, and it's turn-based. I don't know, it's really fun. The campaigns can be really long and it's kind of a brutal and a difficult game, but I can appreciate it for that.
I imagine you spent hours playing that with your friends.
Yeah, and thank God you can save between each. There's like 3 floors max for each campaign, but you can literally, like I said, depending on your group, you could spend hours on just one floor. So thank God you can at least save between floors, because I don't know if we'd be able to do a whole campaign in a day before the headset dies.
Oh God. Yeah, but by the way, how much battery life is on the headset, the one that you use specifically, the Valve one?
Well, for the Valve, it's not so much the headset, but the controllers. I would say, I feel like I've gone 6 hours fine. So maybe if I had to guess, like it's very rare because I'm pretty proactive in charging my controllers. So maybe 8 to 10 hours for the Valve Index controllers. And those aren't battery. Those you actually have to like plug in like a USB-C kind of a thing. The Quest 2 headset is probably about 2 hours because it's not connected to a PC. And then the controllers are just battery. I think it was 1 or 2 AA batteries, but yeah. So there are trade-offs too. If you have a standalone headset, like you're gonna have the lower battery life because it's all just contained. But if you've got PC VR, you just have to worry about the controllers. And if you really want, for some reason, if you're going to spend a lot of time in VR, you can use one of those like power banks. Like some people have made custom wrist straps where you could stick them in and then just keep them plugged in.
Kind of like what people do when they work out. They have like that strap thing on their shoulder with their phone.
Yeah. Like instead of the phone, it'd be like you just put a power bank in there and then connect that to your controller so you could keep it charged while you play. But
pretty clever.
I haven't had a use for it though, because I'm not in VR that long,
No, but it doesn't sound like you do it a whole lot, because you do have a life outside of content creating. It is a thing, people. Content creators do have a life.
Sometimes.
So the Valve headset is it one of the ones that have like the built-in headset and the mic? Because I've seen like VR headsets that have like the built-in headset and the mic and everything.
Yes, I will say the Index probably has one of the best built-in microphones of any of the existing VR headsets. Like actually, I don't like when I record using my Index, I just use the mic from the headset. It sounds really good. I mean, I do cheat a little and I run it through Voice Meter Banana, and then I just change like
Voice Meter
a little.
What?
It's a mixer. Voice Reader Banana. It's kind of like a virtual mixer. So I have like 3 different microphones that are going through this that I can switch out anytime. I can change the volumes of any of my audio sources without having to go mess with Windows crap, because Windows is just sometimes terrible with these things.
Not reliable.
Yeah, but yeah, the Valve Index mic on its own is great. Like I don't feel like when it comes to the Quest though, I do use Antlion Audio does a Mod Mic wireless, and it's nice because it's a wireless microphone. So you just have a base station that you stick to one end. It's magnetic, and you can just pop the little microphone on, and it's so nice.
Nice. I think I kind of asked this before, but what inspired you to want to do this kind of stuff, be a content creator?
That's a tough one. I think even before all the VR stuff, when I was just mucking around doing like Twitch and whatever, I think it was mostly that I just got tired of having a like a regular job. Like if we're going way back in time, like I mostly used to work at like doggy daycares and animal shelters, but I got sick of the fact that I couldn't, even though I felt like I was improving maybe skills or experience wise, there wasn't any room for growth. Like eventually you hit a ceiling and they're not, looking to give you a promotion, or you're just kind of stuck. And I didn't like that. I wanted to keep being able to improve my skills in a field, but have it actually be able to see, reap the rewards of that basically. So then I just started doing a lot of independent contractor stuff, which eventually led to content creation, which was like gaming. It's going to be the same story probably from everyone, but I played games since I was a kid, so I've always loved video games. But yeah, then I just wanted to see if I could make a more of a business around it. And
I mean, from what I've seen on your when you were using Instagram and everything, it seems like you've done a lot, not just as a person, but as a content creator as well.
Yeah, especially in the beginning, I dabbled a lot. Like when I was competing in bodybuilding, I had done a lot of modeling, and I also got into cosplay. And so for a while, I was kind of confused. I think I didn't know which direction I wanted to go. It's like, do I want to go fitness? Do I want to go cosplay? Do I want to go gaming? But I knew I couldn't really realistically do all 3. I mean, I could keep some as hobbies, but that was my problem, is I think I wanted to make everything a potential business avenue. And I realized it's okay to have hobbies. Like you don't have to you don't have to try to figure out a way to make money off of everything. And so then eventually I settled on gaming, just because it was surprisingly the cheaper of the other hobbies. Like cosplay was getting ridiculously expensive with all the materials I needed, or just the pressure of like, if I mess up, there goes $100 of whatever. That's like, what? Now I can just go and sit in the corner and cry. But at least with the like all the tech stuff, I can use that for multiple purposes. So it helps.
So basically, to like how a lot of like kind of like Kratos and the Mandalorian from Mandalorian, you've had character development in a sense.
Yeah, I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've also gained a lot of experience in different ways, and I've tried a lot of things. So I'm hoping that, so far VR seems to be the thing that is working out the best for me. I'm glad that I finally narrowed down my focus to something, because I was very scatterbrained. I was like, let's try this and let's try that. So nobody really knew what I was about, because I was trying way too many things. But yeah, so VR's been great. And then again, it got me a job, so that's nice too.
If you found your niche, basically.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I'm sure you can agree that when someone starts out, where they're trying to figure out what to do, they're going to go through over 100 things just to figure out what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. And it's, I think, probably also an age thing too. Like most of the stuff I went through in my early 20s, and I don't know I don't know how you are, but when I was in high school, there was a lot of pressure that you had to go to college, and you have to like find your thing and what degree are you
I never went to college.
I went to community college for a couple of years just because I was supposed to. It was the thing to do. But then eventually I dropped out because I was like, what am I doing here?
I'm like in my late 20s, and I'm like, this is what I like doing. This is something I enjoy is content creating as well. And that's why I created this series, is to hear stories from other content creators and how they got into this thing that they've been doing for a long time now.
Yeah, there's like, I don't know why there's so much push for degrees, but really there's a lot of information that you can find out online about things you actually care for. And I think it's okay to have those periods where you are just not really sure what to do and you're messing around with different things, so you can find something that you actually enjoy doing that you think you might want to do for the rest of your life. But I feel like that, especially in early 20s, there's that pressure to like figure out what you're going to do for the rest of your life now.
Yeah, like that long list.
Yeah. Pick something and pick it now. Otherwise you're a failure. Or at least that's how I felt.
and I do consider, for those who want to do full content creator full time, I do consider that if you are making money off being a full-time content creator, that is technically a career in my opinion.
And there's so much, even becoming a content creator, you learn new skills that can be transferable into a job. Like that's how I got my community manager position. Was I learned a lot about marketing for myself, and this information I could, or even technical stuff. Like when you're doing podcasting, streaming, this can transfer over into careers if you want it to. I'm not saying that you have to go from content creation back to a real job, but you can maybe, if you're like struggling financially, because sometimes it could be like starving artist life a little bit.
Oh yeah,
you can still, you can work in a field that you enjoy. So it's helpful that the skills you develop aren't just, they can be for you only if you want them to, but they can also be transferable into other jobs too.
Oh,
so
no,
I don't want people to lose hope.
I wholeheartedly agree. Now, a question I usually do ask when it comes to content creating, as a content creator, have you ever been like a special guest or attend like gaming conventions and stuff like that?
Oh, yes. Oh my God, it sounds weird, but this year is the year I've been traveling a lot, doing a lot of experimenting with, okay, where are the VR places to be, like VR events and conventions and stuff. And I have gotten to go to some interesting ones because VR is still a small niche, but there are some like esports groups that are starting to pop up that are doing I'm not like good enough to be competitive, but I like showing up and seeing who's there and watching. It's fun. But yeah, a lot of esports groups popping up. There's more sort of like management groups for content creators that will have events occasionally, or game development companies will have content creators come to their studios and get to try new stuff. I didn't get to try that one because some of them are in like Sweden and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I only got to go out of country once a year maybe because it's a lot. But yeah, there's even this on the tech side of things, like even at CES there's a lot of VR related stuff, or there's a lot more than I thought. So I spent most of this year traveling and seeing what's out there so I could make plans for the next coming years on like which ones were worth it and which ones I could probably skip. But it's a lot.
I'm sure it also takes a lot out of you as well.
Yeah, but I enjoy it, especially if it's like a state or a country I haven't been to before, because I have like a little map that I like scratching off the little things. So I'm like, yeah, it's like a list.
Nice.
It's fun.
Now, some questions I'll be asking, because I kind of ask similar ones when I do the cosplay one. Some of your favorite games and least favorite games you've played as a content creator.
Ooh, some of my favorites. I think I mentioned it before, but I love Walkabout Mini Golf. It's so simple. It sounds like such a simple game, and it is, and that's the beauty of it. I also loved Half-Life Alyx, and there are some fantastic mods for it. So you don't have to go and complete the campaign again. A lot of people have made sort of their own campaign extensions or just really interesting stuff in the workshop. I'm trying to think of some worse ones. There's a lot of, because VR is still small, there's a lot of indie studios out there trying to figure out.
Oh yeah, Steam is definitely a
doing.
good example of indie games.
Yes, so I've tried a lot of, I would say, the bad ones. Those are usually go on my TikTok because I can make fun of them a little bit.
Like the bar fight game.
I do like that one though. That one's actually surprisingly satisfying. Bye-bye.
Oh my God, this was supposed to be realistic, Peter Griffin. Kind of. Handsome Squidward. This was supposed to be Pikachu. Oh my God, it's my husband. Nice tail. I don't like this at all. Let's make everybody my husband. Oh my god. He's gonna become beautiful already. He's gonna turn into me. Oh my god!
But because they also don't take themselves seriously is the thing, you know. But there's like I've tried a lot of VR girlfriend simulators just out of curiosity.
I have seen the as I call it, the waifu simulator.
Or is this what guys actually want? Or I don't know. It's just it's weird but fascinating.
You froze, so I think what half you said was
Oh no, am I back?
yeah, you're back. So you were
Okay.
as I was saying about the I did see your TikTok videos of the quote unquote waifu simulator. I saw some of your videos. I'm just like, alrighty then. This is an actual thing. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm glad, at least from my perspective, I feel like it feels a little safer to watch it through me because it's not like I bought these games for a serious purpose or maybe its intended purpose, which I don't want to think about too hard. It's like, so you can kind of, I know most people are probably curious about what goes on in these really weird games. I'd be more than happy to guide other people through this insanity that is like the waifu simulators, and they're so weird. They're so weird.
I have seen it, and I think one of them was where you and your waifu were playing you were playing a VR game in a VR game.
Yeah, just like that was, I don't know, but that one was more innocent than some other ones I've seen, luckily. But yeah, I have to. It's weird. It's weird. So that would say, well, I wouldn't classify them as bad exactly because they were actually like pretty, like graphically they were well done.
Oh yeah, they look well made for a VR game, because I know a lot of VR games have a lot of glitches too, like the weird how the body will get like bent backwards, or the arm or some weird body part will just go all.
VR is hard for developers and creators and players sometimes. It's because it's such a new technology, but it's growing so fast.
It's not like how they make it seem like in anime, like Sword Art Online and all that stuff. They like, it's different in the movie. It compared to real life, it's not like how you see VR in movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
We're not that far advanced yet to make it look that realistic. This ain't like Ready Player One.
Although somebody did make a modified headset that has, I don't know if you saw this, they've got where if you play it and if it flashes a certain color, there's like these like pistons in it. So it'll basically kill you if it flashes a certain screen. So he kind of mimicked Sword Art Online. I mean, this headset isn't meant to actually be used, hopefully, but someone made it.
Yeah,
it exists.
I just think that's
terrifying.
Yeah, no. I don't want to hear, oh, someone died in the game. Someone who died in the game died in real life. That's no.
That's where he went with it. Yeah. But hopefully, I don't know. It's weird times. Like, just because we could doesn't mean we should.
No.
In a lot of cases.
I think, if anything, we should learn that. Kind of.
Yeah.
So another question is some VR horror stories. Do you have any of those? Like just weird moments in VR as a content creator?
Not specific to content creation, but I've got, I mean, you can't see them, but I've got a couple marks on my wall from just accidents. Actually, I had my trigger of one of my controllers like kind of break off because sometimes if I'm recording something and I'm not streaming, I'll just have a stool behind me so I can kind of lean on it so I'm not standing the whole time. But what happens, I was trying to climb up something, and sometimes climbing in VR isn't always the greatest. So I tried to like push my hands down too far, smacked the back of the trigger on the stool, and then I didn't realize it. I heard a loud sound, but I thought things were fine until I put my finger back on the trigger, and I was like, it doesn't feel plastic anymore.
No.
But it was just kind of dangling. There's like this weird little piece, and it was just hanging off there, and I was like, oh no! Like luckily I wasn't streaming again, so I just kind of like put it down, and I was like, what do I do? And I went to Reddit, and luckily it didn't seem like it was too bad. Super glued it, and it's fine so far. It's been holding. It's been like a month or so, and it's good.
So you've never had any game raging moments?
Not game raging intentionally, but I've hit my walls a couple times. Like there's black streaks on it, or I'm pretty sure it's always a heart-stopping moment because again, it's not cheap technology. So if I had to go and replace one of these things, it would suck. It'd be kind of expensive, especially something that could have been avoided, like just being aware of my space. But yeah, it's more physical accidents, I think, that you have to be careful about. I've almost hit my husband a couple times, but I don't say if I'm in VR,
Oh, no.
like I can't see. That's on you for walking near
God,
me or in front of me.
just walks in front of you. Next thing you know, he gets kicked right between the legs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not my fault. I can't see. I don't know.
Depth perception is not the greatest in VR, from what I've heard.
I mean, it's just you're like there's pass through, but otherwise you're just in another world. You have no idea what's going on outside of your own little game that you're in or experience or whatever. So I don't know. I even have to be careful though. Like I have a dog, so I have to make sure if I'm in VR, I close my door so she doesn't just come in and get hit on accident. I feel so bad. Husband, I don't feel bad for. The dog, I would feel awful
Oh, I
if I
mean,
hit the dog.
like it's okay. It's just a flesh wound where the dog's like, oh my God, are you alive?
Yeah, it's like when you step on a dog's foot and you're like, oh my God, I'm the worst person ever. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
man.
It's the worst.
My experience of VR, because I've played PlayStation VR at my sister's place, and it's I can attest that VR is like you definitely have to like be careful of your surroundings, whether you're in a big space or small space, because next thing you know, you could step back too far and you fall on the couch or fall over the couch or something.
Yeah, and you get so immersed in the world or wherever you are that you just lose any capacity to remember where you are and where your space is, unless you like really think about it or you do like a look under the headset to try to
Like
see your real life.
Okay,
Yeah.
I still have all my body parts attached to me. Okay.
I actually have a like a mat that I stand on, so I can like kind of use my foot to feel it to make sure I'm still in place and I'm not gonna hit.
That's
Because I know they have the Guardian and stuff, like they have the grid, so if you go too close to it, it'll show. But I don't like having that, especially in my recordings. I like it clean, so I turn it off, which probably isn't recommended for most normal users.
I've seen in some VRs, like they have that big circular thing that you touch, like you touch a harness to yourself, and you're just like in a circle.
Oh, is that the
You're-
treadmill?
Yeah, that kind of that circular treadmill thing that I see, like when you're doing like shooting war games or something, or like what they have for army simulator games. You're like, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
those
talking
are
about, right?
weird.
The big harness thing, and you're in a circle, and you can like have the
Like you can't really walk on those as you would, like you more have to shuffle on them though because of how they work.
Mhm.
You have to wear these special shoes, which first of all, I don't like wearing shoes in my house. I want to be comfortable when I'm playing games. So that to me was already a like nope. But then you also have to lubricate it to make sure, because it has to slide against the treadmill part. So you're more
Mhm.
like shuffling. You're not really lifting up your foot. So it's interesting, but not something that I can imagine. Like, plus it's huge.
And the
Like,
and the and
whatever.
the cost of one of those things, I imagine, would just be a pain in the ass to like.
Yeah, it fun if I got it for free, but not something.
Oh
that
yeah,
I
no,
would
that'd have to
purchase.
purchase. No, I totally get it. Some of your favorite gaming moments, like some of your favorite moments, your favorite VR moments that you've put on TikTok or YouTube.
Ooh, I can think of one recently where I got a bunch of friends together to play Among Us VR because that came out pretty recently. And my husband and I got put together as the imposters randomly. And I was so proud of us because I don't know if it's because we're just in sync with knowing how the other person thinks, but we did 2 double kills.
Stab each other over there.
That was
I'm
a little
watching.
weird.
Mr. Survivor, watch the taskbar.
Yeah,
Mine
I just
done.
did it too.
Okay. And the bar didn't go up when he said I got mine done.
Watch.
You like
I'll be
that?
faster.
You like
I'll be
that?
faster.
Like we were both it was both just us and 2 other people. We killed them. Like, cause I killed one and he'd be like, oh, and kill the other one. Went in another room. There was also 2 people. We kind of like looked at each other in VR. I don't know. Our little beans looked at each other. I killed one. He killed. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I had never done so many double kills in Among Us like ever. It was, I don't know.
With your permission, would I be able to show that in this interview? If you have a
Yes,
clip of it?
absolutely. I think I have it on TikTok, but remind me and I'll send it over to you.
So you said you VR with your husband. What's it like creating VR content with your husband?
It's fun because like I mean some of my content is single player, but I find that I don't know, I can get a lot better interactions when I'm playing like with my husband and with my friends, because there's just some things you can't, like some experiences you can't replicate. Just the randomest stuff may come up, or they're going to see things a different way that you didn't think. So I'll prefer to make content with friends or my husband, but I can't expect them to always be available all the time
Oh
for
yeah, no.
the times that I can record. So it's like a lot of times we'll play like after hours, like after work or whatever. Normal working hours for a lot of us is in different parts of the world, try to figure out something. But yeah, we try to do VR multiplayer at least once a week, but we do a lot of desktop like flat screen stuff too.
Nice. So three more questions. Advice for those who are wanting just to get into content creating in general. What advice would you want to give to someone who's wanted to get into content creating?
Two things. The first is decide on, is this going to be a hobby for you, or is this going to be something that you're going to want to kind of make money off of, treat like a business? Because once you make that differentiation from the start, that's going to really guide how you should treat your content, right? Because if it's just for a hobby, don't let the numbers bother you much. I know it's hard to say, but you can then kind of create what you like. Don't feel like you have to make your content for someone, because you're doing it because you enjoy it, not because you're trying to make a business out of it. But if you do want to make a business out of it, there are certain things, like really be open to just looking up, absorbing as much information as you can about marketing. If you want to get more into YouTube, look up, just generic like YouTube tutorials, what makes YouTube videos more interesting, some of the kind of science and the analytics behind it. And like realize it's okay to pivot sometimes if what you wanted to do maybe isn't getting the numbers that you wanted. There's still other things you could do in your field that are different. I don't know. But also just start. A lot of people will spend hours and hours editing a video, realize, you know what, this sucks, and then they'll never post it. But if you go through all of your favorite YouTubers' channels and go to like their very first videos, they're crap, they're shit, they are bad videos, but they had to post the bad ones first in order to learn how to be better. I know it. Yeah, so go just post, because you'll learn just by doing too. So just, even if it's crap, just get it out there. Know what maybe you could have done better next time, do it better next time, rinse and repeat. But again, you got to get it out there in order to learn from it. So whether that's YouTube or Twitch or TikTok, whatever, whatever platform.
Yeah, because there's people who want to become Twitch partner, and there's people on YouTube who want to, get their videos monetized, but you have to have a certain amount of views. You have to have a certain amount of followers. Someone like me who does content creating, I don't really care. I just do it for fun.
Yeah, see, but that's an important differentiation, because I've had some people who are, they just want it as a hobby, but they're treating it so seriously. And so they get really bummed out and really hurt when they don't achieve the level that they think. But I'm like, hey, realistically, it's just a hobby. Like, it shouldn't be it's supposed to be fun, And then on the opposite side, I have people who wanted to treat it like a business, but they're treating it more like a hobby. It's like, hey, you gotta kind of put some work in and do a little bit of research. So, it's different.
Nowadays, everyone and their grandmother, literally, I've seen, people in their 60s and 70s doing content creating. So it's like, it's definitely, gotten up there.
Man, I want to be a 70-year-old content creator. That'd be so fun. Can you imagine? I wonder how much, because it's so big now, I wonder if there will be a lot of kind of like tattoos. Like, you didn't see, like, there's gonna be so many old people with tattoos now, just see a
70-year-old out of a body, red hair, VR gaming, just like telling kids to get off the lawn.
That would be great. And playing all the same weird games, but it's even weirder because I'm an old lady. Oh my God, it'd be fantastic. I hope that I can stick with it, and I don't know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you never know. Second question, kind of the same as the last question. Advice for those who want to become VTubers and VR content creators.
Stuff's gonna break. The technology is so new, and sometimes stuff just breaks for no reason. So I will say that, like, don't let the technical complexity scare you or discourage you, because I've, even with the, like, now that I've done VR stuff, going back and looking at all of the things that I complained about when it came to desktop streaming, I was like, man, that was so much easier when I just streamed from my computer than doing it in VR. But don't let the technical problems get you down, because they will happen. It happens to everybody. All of the big streamers and YouTubers it happens to. But also don't be afraid to experiment. Because there are some, I mean, I can't think of any specifically right now, but there are some like nifty little hacks that you can do to make your, like, especially if you're streaming with VR, to make life a little bit easier for you. Like work smarter, not harder, kind of a thing.
I mean, I can imagine when you have your Valve headset on and you're talking with chat, you have not just the game, but so actually I did want to ask about that. So when you have that Valve thing on and you're with chat, does it show like the chat right there underneath the headset as well?
It depends on the program you use, but like I like depending on the game too, because you can change where you see it. So you can either put chat like sort of basically anywhere in your space that you'd like, it's sort of like floating there, or you can put it on your wrist. So maybe you're playing a game and then you want to check chat, you can look down at your wrist. You can pretty much just put it anywhere, just a floating box that you can grab and put where you'd like.
Technology's come a long way then.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is you can only do it if you're playing with like through Steam VR, like on with a basically Steam VR, because you can technically do it on the Quest as well, but you would have to be playing a Steam game on your Quest. Like you couldn't do it with just a Quest native game, if that makes sense, because Meta's very, very limiting. It's also just basically a phone headset, you know.
Oh, you're talking about the Facebook Meta thing?
Yeah, like they're very they're not very open to, I don't know. There's a lot of solutions that exist out there for some of the problems that they have, but it's such a controlled company that
damn you, Mark
it's hard to have a
Zuckerberg.
solution. I feel bad sometimes because I'm like, I'm sure, like, you know, he's a super smart man, but there's just some people that have really punchable faces, and it's not his fault. It's a very mean thing for me to say, but he's just got a super punchable face.
Damn you, you lizard looking motherfucker. No disrespect to the metaverse, but I've seen, I've heard mixed reviews on that.
Hey, he's doing martial arts now though, so you better watch out. He's got like a trainer and everything.
just waiting for someone to call him on something. So last question, just any advice in general you want to throw out there? Also, as a buddy of mine says, you want to throw out your pluggables, basically your links to your social media stuff if anyone wants to give you a follow or whatever.
Yeah, so my YouTube channel, that's the more I do post some of my slightly inappropriate VR shorts there. But that's usually where you'll find most of my tutorials. So if you're looking into how to be able to stream or record with VR, whether you've got a Quest or a PC VR headset, you can find it all there. Read chat in VR. You want to be a VTuber, I've got some getting started guides there as well. Or if you just want to see kind of the dark side of VR and VR memes and that kind of a thing, then that's where a lot of stuff you'll find on my TikTok. Or I'm also on Twitter. So I'm basically Adam Bombadi on everything. You just find Adam Bombadi. It's the same thing, every platform. Twitter is like pretty neutral. I'll post occasional dumb thoughts there, but that's where I do most of my networking. So probably one of the better places to reach out and contact me if you wanted to message me for something.
Just look up you'll be able to see it with because your logo is you were in a 1940s army girl outfit sitting on a nuke.
Oh yeah, and you'll usually see like the bright yellow and the red of my hair somewhere. So you'll find me. It's just Adam Bombadi on everything, but mostly currently YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok are like I would say my three main platforms right now. And
you also have a merch store, if I'm not mistaken, because I've seen some of your VR shirts as well.
Yeah, so my merch store, besides the generic like branded stuff, which nobody really cares about, I do have some like kind of more humorous stick figure-y accident VR shirts.
I definitely have to get. I saw the shirt where it's the VR guy or VR girl, and I got to get one of myself one of those.
Yeah, so there's like generic VR like tank tops and shirts on there that aren't branded. That'll be good for anyone who's like a fan of VR or just go check it out. Yeah, because it got some funny stuff on there. That's good for anyone.
Any last minute thing you'd like to add for those who are watching or listening?
Ooh, gosh, that's a tough one.
Or what they should be looking forward to in the months to come for your content.
More weird. If you're watching my TikToks, you're probably going to see a lot more weird anime girl action. or just more weirdness in general. I don't know if that's something necessary to look forward to, but it'll be interesting.
Depending on
It'll
who
be
you are.
interesting. Depending on who you are, it'll be a thing. It'll be something. I don't know what it'll be. Just the reactions to those can be all over the place, but we'll see. I have fun. It's weird.
I think that should do it again. Adam, thank you for coming on to Geek It. Oh, I was supposed to say cosplay content. Thank you for coming on to Geeking Out to talk about what it's like being a content creator. Be sure to look out for them on YouTube and TikTok and all that fun stuff. All the links will be in the description below. So yeah, that should about do it. Again, I'm Winnie Unknown. As always, thank you for listening, and until next time, thank you for watching.